That down there is Sassafras Valley. If you look real close, you can see right there to this is a dogwood, but that is a sassafras tree. I'll take you down there and we'll take a look at it. Even though the hickories are at their prime right now, the sassafras is a little past that. Here's one right here. And this is the namesake tree. This is the sassafras that my daughters were eating lunch under one day when I reached over and grabbed one of the limbs off of it and had them smell it. And it sits right here in Sassafras Valley. You'll notice that this valley here, okay, splits. And there's one that runs up along there a little ways and curves back and just dies out. And then there's this one that I've stacked rocks along that channels the water here, because it used to be the water ran down beside that oak tree right there and then out through there to the road, okay? But I moved it over here because I wanted to have a nice, because this was a nice little flat in here, and so I dug this trench in here. Neighbor had a little wheel horse with a one bottom plow on it, and I borrowed that thing and I just dug a little trench right through here, and channeled it over this way to carry it out. And now I've got a nice little, I don't know, little flat bottom in here that kind of opens the property up a little bit. I keep it mowed a little bit. I don't mow it too hard. But anyway, let's get back to that namesake tree. Like I said, my daughters suggested we call this place Sassafras Valley because this tree right here. And the sad part is that I've not taken real good care of it, okay? Because all of these dead limbs down in here are poison ivy. See the berries? And they're growing right up that trunk there. So, come this winter, when it's dormant, I'm going to get down here and see if I can save this tree. At this point, it's not dying. The bottom limbs have died off, but they always do on sassafras anyway. But the upper limbs still seem to be in pretty good shape. So I'm going to come in here and see if I can't kill that vine out. Won't be able to tear too much of it off though, because sassafras is a pretty brittle tree and I'll break them limbs trying to get it out. But I can certainly kill the vine out. We'll do that project. In fact, you probably won't see this until I do that project this winter. But anyway, I think it's a project worth doing, because even if they don't think a lot about it, I certainly do. There's another tree up here. which is undergoing a similar fate, and it hangs over the power line there. But as you can see, it has an ivy vine growing up it, and it's just as wild as that other one. So I definitely got to get that off of there. I figure that the electric utility will be out here in the next year or so and trim that tree, and I might as well just go ahead and kill the vine so that the tree doesn't fall down and take my electricity out. So I can tackle those these winter, but I ain't about to touch them right now. They've dropped their leaves, but that doesn't mean that they're dormant. Tree in behind it here has one on it. Tree over there has some on it, so I'll get out, and that's a dead tree, and that wood should be good to harvest. So I'll get out there here this winter when they're asleep and see what I can do about them. So here it is, last day of January, and we caught a 60-degree, absolutely gorgeous day. I'm back down here at the namesake tree, and my objective today is to try to save it. All of these limbs coming out here are poison ivy. They're coming off that vine that goes right up the trunk all the way to the top of the tree. They've just about taken it over. There's some other vines too. There's an escaped decorative landscape vine. You'll notice that the poison ivy branches right here, right in this area here. So it's got two branches running up there. It's got catbrier growing up. And this vine right here that's that decorative vine. And another poison ivy growing up this side. And they've just pretty much taken over this tree. What I want to do today is to kill it and remove as much as I can without tearing up the tree. So I brought down some tools, and I'll set you up over here and you can watch as I try to save this tree. This is the last sassafras tree from the Sassafras Grove here at the road, will be named Sassafras Valley. Okay? I'll get you set up. I want to pull this stump, this base of this vine out as much by the roots as I can, because I really don't want to take a chance on using stump killer and killing the sassafras tree. Sassafras trees have shallow roots. In fact, they spread and grow in groves because they send up shoots that become trees off of those shallow roots. So I don't want to take a chance of damaging those shallow roots, so I'm going to be scratching around on the ground and just trying to loosen up the vines that are growing around it. That is one of the advantages of having a tiny backhoe, is that you have a good deal of feel with it. As you start to scratch, you can see when it hits obstructions, and I know these vines are small on this side and they're not going to have a very big root system. So when I hit something that feels like an obstruction, I can just pull off of it and take a shallower pass. Does it. I'm going to move on up and take some other vines down along this front up here. I've got a tree, right there. See, that one there, and that one there. They all got vines on them. Might as well clean them up while I'm working on it. You'll notice that even though it's a warm day, I have a long sleeve shirt on. I also have on long pants with no holes in them. Good sturdy shoes, socks. Pair of safety glasses, hard hat. But I also have on gloves to protect my hands, because when you're working with poison ivy, even though it's dormant, any piece of that still has an opportunity to infect you or cause, to get dermatitis on your skin from it. So as I'm cutting this vine, here a piece of sawdust got in my right eye. I didn't really realize it was in there because I couldn't feel it. It was too small. But my eyes started watering. And so I went to the house and rinsed it out. I thought maybe it wasn't going to bother me. But that evening I noticed that eye was itching pretty bad. So I put some medication on it and only ended up getting a couple of small blisters on the outside of my eyelid from it. Other than that, I didn't suffer any effects from working around the poison ivy. Here on the uphill side of the valley, I don't really clear it out at all. I kind of take care of the mow along the front there along the road, but back in the woods, I don't really do much with it. It has quite a few blackberries, wild raspberries, pawpaw trees, a lot of brush, and I find that deer like it. In fact, we do have 2 does that every year for the last few years they've been fawning in that area. So I don't really get in there and mess with it. However, it's starting to look a little shaggy up here around the entrance to the valley and a little woolly, and so I wanted to get this cleared up a little bit. Come spring, I'm going to get in there and plant some orchard grass and keep it so it doesn't just look like a muddy hillside, but this was a great opportunity for me to get in and clean out that corner. I have a bridge, an old bridge that I built years and years ago that's fallen in about halfway up the valley here, and it allows me to get from one side to the other. And I want to go ahead and put a couple trails through there so that I can get out in it a little easier, because like I said, it's getting pretty woolly. So I'm going to replace that bridge decking here, between now and spring maybe. And if I do, I'll bring the camera along and we'll get some pictures of that. But in the meantime, sure was glad to get that front corner cleared up, and I think it does look a lot better from the road. Well, I got front here of Sassafras Valley cleared out a little bit. Got this corner knocked down. Got the poison ivy off of these trees here. Got some brush cleared out up in here. Sorry about the sun. Got it piled in here, tucked back in here. Won't burn it. Just let it rot down. Animals like it. And this treetop here probably isn't any good for firewood, but it comes out of this tree right here. Okay? That tree is over 3 feet in diameter. Been dead for 4 or 5 years now. Just about lost its bark. Wood inside of it make really good firewood, but the tree died on its own. So my guess is it's hollow. In fact, it looks like you can see some holes in here. It looks like the ants have been after it. But now I can get in there and knock that thing down, because I've got all this cleared out here to work it up in. It'll probably go, when I fall it, it'll probably reach out, oh, let's say 60 feet. Don't think it'll get to Sassafras tree, but I think it'll come right out to here. It's leaning the other way, but you know, that's not that big a problem. Just gotta fall it the right way. So I think that's all I'm gonna do here tonight. They're saying it's gonna be, see, it got up to 65 today. They're saying the the high tomorrow is going to be like 17. And the low is going to be 6 or 7 overnight. So I probably ought to go lay in some wood. The fireplace feel really good tomorrow. But appreciate you hanging with me. You have nothing less than a wonderful day.